And hey there guys, and welcome to this first game in the series between Lampan of Darkstar versus Volt of Darkstar here on, I believe this is Starstation, although I'm not entirely sure. These new maps haven't really gotten used to them, and I am the Mish Gang, TMK, and I'm casting right after I just got up. I just had a little bit of coffee, and I'm just getting right into some StarCrafts. And yep, this is going to be a best of 3 series. And as you can see, these guys are kind of starting at a relatively close position. I do believe there's still a good deal of running distance. Like, if they had spawned here, of course, and this would be much closer by land spawn. But this is still relatively close. I'm not sure if anybody's done the math as of yet, but yeah, that's pretty good. And how are you guys liking HOTS, man? This game is just ridiculous. I mean, the amount of aggression that we've been seeing, it's been really good and positive for StarCraft 2 in general. And as you can see, both players just scouting out the close positions first. Lampan sending one of his overlords north immediately just to check this area. Once he can confirm that his opponent isn't here or here, he will definitely know that his opponent is here. But it looks like he's already altered the route of this overlord for no particular reason. Oh, wait a minute, he's sending a drone to check the close area. Nope, he's going to send it straight and make a hatchery. Going to be going for a very aggressive play against Protoss, going for a hatch first. Probably going to drop a spawning pool any second now. Or, yep, going to drone up, going to be incredibly greedy. Lampan, he just knows that he can just play a bit greedier against Volt, man. He knows Volt's style a bit more. And Volt hasn't, yep, he's going for a Nexus first. Both players playing really greedily. This is kind of normal at the higher level because both players just, the higher level meta game is completely different than the lower level. The lower level is just for shits and giggles mostly, but for the higher level it's a bit more finesse, I should say. But then the Koreans come around and show that the shits and giggles actually can win you tournaments. MVP, GSL, yeah. Anyway, as you can see, Volt did get a full scout in. Volt is now just finishing up his wall, going for a gateway, going for that one forge, and going for a pylon to help reinforce this wall. Pylon is always usually good to have here because it's just, people like usually focus on killing the pylon, but then you have the backup pylon. So the more pylons in the front, the more time you can buy with your forces to like slowly whittle down any roach rushes that can come your way. And it looks like we should be seeing a pretty standard macro game. In about 30 seconds or so we should be seeing the third hatch going down as Lampan seems to be very eco-focused. And yep, I do believe this drone is on a mission, and that mission is to get more minerals. And we could possibly see an aggressive play from Lampan because 2-base Zerg can be quite potent against 2-base Protoss because you can get the tech out slightly earlier than your Protoss opponent. As Protoss tech is incredibly dangerous, incredibly awesome, but yeah, oh, nope, opting to get that third hatch, opting to go into super macro late game mode. And I'm really hoping that Lampan can show us some Swarm Host play in this game, as it was a fun game, and Swarm Host is kind of like a goofy unit to use. It's kind of good, it can be really good. It's kind of like, I feel it's like a Hydra from Wings of Liberty. Hydras right now so good with the speed upgrade. They're actually useful in a lot of different situations, including against Terrans. And sorry about that, guys. My PC just starts to chug in a bit because I am playing on the highest graphics possible, giving you the high definition goodness. And hopefully the render will come out nicely. I am using OBS to record this video. Not sure whether it's going to be as good as XSplit or not, recording wise. I know that it's much better than XSplit when it comes to streaming because it's much lighter. And oh, as you can see, Volt could possibly be throwing down some tech over here, but this position is somewhat vulnerable because an overlord can just like float in and go which means, so that's what you've been up to. And yep, I can't do a good enough overlord impression than Husky, but gosh darn it, I'm gonna try. And opting to go quite gasless for the longest time. Going to be seeing a couple of gas geysers going down any second now. Playing this somewhat similar to Wings of Liberty. And there we go, a couple of gases going down. Yep, going for quadruple gases. Gases everywhere. Could possibly be seeing some muta play or some heavy tech coming in. Normally, you'd see the 2 gases being taken at the 630 mark, but it looks like this Zerg player has got some shenanigans up his up his sleeve, and we can see the first Stargate is actually on the way. Stargate is just so good against Zerg now because of oracles. If you can catch your opponent off guard, the oracle can just do so much damage, and this is also really irritating at times because you can just float in the mothership core, try and pick off a drone or two, and then just back off and force some queens to be pulled. The mothership core itself doesn't really do a great deal of damage, but still, it's pretty good. As you can see, the queen has already taken out all of its force fields. This is why I like this game. Everything is just so freakishly balanced. And the mothership core could also be really annoying and drop a time warp right on the mineral line, which could delay mining by quite a bit. As you can see, there was a double extractor trick that I just missed over there. And what are we seeing here? It looks like a gateway transition. Gateway Eric is also a possible strat in this matchup, as Void Rays are just so good, man. And you could also use oracles to kill light units like Zerglings, like Hydras, especially if the Hydras aren't exactly focusing on them. And it looks like Lampan knows, man. He knows what's up. He did get a scout in. He did see what was coming, and he has thrown in quite a few spores all over the place. We can see like 2 spores in the natural, 1 in the main, and I do believe, yep, 2 spores over here. Just trying to be extra careful, not trying to give him any inch, because the fear of the Void Ray is at the back of his mind. And Void Rays are just such a good unit right now, as they do a lot of damage when they're charged up with their passive ability, and they also do tend to do a lot of damage even though they're not charged up. As you can see, Surgical Strike Craft, and here we go. The first set of Phoenixes are now on the field. We should be seeing quite a few extra Overlords being popped any second now, because this can just become so irritating, losing a few Overlords, and then you end up being supply blocked, and you're like, gosh darn it. Did not mean for that to happen. And as you can see, a lot of Overlords just parked over here, and oh, the Phoenixes, these are like paper mache airplanes, taking so much damage, a little bit of hull damage as well, trying to pick off as many drones as possible to give you any kind of economic edge. And just I do believe there were 3 drones lost. Yes, 3 drones were lost, and now the Zergling count is starting to get a bit bigger, and we can see the transition into robotics, which is kind of smart, not producing anything extra from the Stargate, although he can opt to produce Void Rays. I would advise doing that. 1 or 2 Void Rays in an army is pretty good. And as you can see, Volt is expanding, so he just opted for a little bit of harass, going for expanded. As you can see, he's doing some more harass at the natural. Gonna try and pick up the queen, and will he get it? Yes, he does get the queen. One of his Phoenixes does suffer a little bit of health damage, and this Phoenix might actually go down just a couple of shots away from actually going down, and just escaping at the nick of time, actually. And as you can see, a lot of Hydras are on the field, but these are slow Hydras, guys. On creep, of course, they look devastatingly fast, but as you can see, there is no muscular augments on the way. I prefer to go muscular augments straight up because it just makes them more useful and you can put on some pressure. Although if you want to be a bit more defensive, I go for the range, but it looks like Lampan opting to be aggressive, opting to go for the range, and opting to hit before any Colossus tech can be on the field, and opting to try and deny this third. But it looks like there's quite a few units here, and not enough units, and oh, a couple of these cannons do get cancelled. It looks like this third should be cancelled, and it does indeed get cancelled. And these Hydralisks are just so freakishly scary, just melting away the Protoss Armada. Nice little concave there, and it looks like he could actually take the game right here, right now. Nope, opting to wisely back off, going for the muscular augments, going for level 2 or +2 attack on his range. And here comes the robotics support bay, and this is going to be really crucial, and this is the moment that Lampan needs to make something happen. Otherwise, once a Colossus is out, even a single Colossus well positioned can swing the pendulum back into Volt's favor. And here are a lot of Phoenixes just trying to get a little bit of a scalp, but all the stalkers have been caught out of position, trying to funnel back into the base. Here comes the mothership core trying to do something, but it gets completely wiped, and it looks like this could be all she wrote. Lings are streaming in across the map. Muscular Augments is nowhere near completion, and the range upgrade showing its devastation. And as you can see, the Protoss is just struggling heavily. The robotics bay does finish, and one Immortal is on the field, but there's just so many Hydralisks that he could just beef his way in, trying to get a good position. Volt is, but it looks like there are just too many Hydralisks, and Muscular Augments should be finishing any second, so the Hydralisk reinforcing should do more damage. Here comes the Phoenixes, lifting up 6 Hydralisks, taking them out of the battle, limiting the Hydra count to half, and that should be it. All the Hydralisks do get obliterated. And the Phoenixes do finish off the job. More Hydras just trying to escape immediately. We're seeing Glial reconstruction. We're seeing the extended thermal lance upgrade, and we're also seeing a fourth base now being made and a lot of drones. That was quite an awesome defense, if I do say so myself. It looks like Volt will finally get up his third, but he needs to reestablish his forge, because without that forge he'll be missing out on those crucial upgrades. And in this matchup, upgrades can just mean so very much, especially if you get all three of the upgrades. You have the shield, the armor, and the attack upgrades. And also it helps making use to... Oh, here comes the Hydralisk trying to make something happen, but the Colossus says you shall not pass. And oh, these Phoenixes playing a very dangerous game, flying right into the Hydralisks, and it looks like one of the Phoenixes will just barely make it out with the skin of his chinny chin chin. And it looks like we're looking at a lot of roaches are on the field. The Spire is nearly done. We're looking at some Void Rays being produced, and we're also looking at a forge and a couple of gateways as well. So we could be seeing a lot of different forms of tech being thrown out, a kind of cookie cutter build, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some upgrades from the Twilight Council going down. And what are we seeing here? Just some, oh nice, oh Zealot will run by into the natural, but the Zealots aren't really doing much. Now they're doing their job, focusing on drones and pulling back the entire army, and this War Prism just barely makes it out. It takes a lot of hull damage. And if those Hydralisks had gotten their, what do they have actually? The spines? Yep, needle spines into that War Prism, it would have just gone the way of the dinosaur. And we all know what happened to the dinosaur. They got spined. So let's see here. More Void Rays are coming. This is really smart, actually, adding a few Void Rays to the army using the charge ability. Even the Void Ray passive is really good. And here we go. Looks like there will be a battle here. Roach, Hydralisk, but... dude, the extended thermal lance is done. This force will be all for naught, but it looks like he's just going balls deep, trying to get a nice concave going, and it looks like the natural will fall. Here comes a Void Ray getting caught completely out of position, but it looks like this army is going to be devastated. Lampan runs into the main, knowing that he needs to make something happen. He needs to try and trade as best as possible, trying to go for the tech structures, and it looks like he's trying to push in to snipe the Colossi, because if he does kill the Colossi, that is it. That is all she wrote. Corruptors do reinforce Lampan's army, and it looks like the Colossi might fall. To one Colossi falls, the other Colossi down to its hull integrity, but it looks like the Colossi will not fall completely. It looks like they will finally do their job, and the Colossi, oh my god, that one Colossi lasted so long, but it looks like Volt is held. Only 3 Corruptors survived that battle, and I don't think that was a fair enough trade. Yup, as you can see, that was a pretty average trade, but here we go. Zealot run by Warpins, and it looks like the fourth will be going down. The War Prism quickly escapes, but it looks like Lampan is out for blood. The War Prism is surrounded by Corruptors, completely surrounded. That was the Alamo, and the War Prism does go down, but guess what, man? This is what he called double expanding. And he seems to have double expanded everywhere. He seems to be pooping creep everywhere across the map, trying to delay expansions from Volt as greatly as possible. But Volt now just reestablishing his natural. I don't think he's really concerned about getting his fourth, or even if he does, he probably secure this position, get it fortified with cannons. And we see a lot of Corruptors are on the field right now, and I do believe this could be all she wrote. I'm not sure what Volt can actually do, because he just has the 2 Colossi, but there's just so many Corruptors, so many Roaches, and I just don't know, man. Maybe with Blink Micro he could pull it off, and using the Immortals, because you gotta realize Immortals do a lot of damage regardless of who they're really shooting. They do a lot of damage to even Hydralisks. And let's see, the Immortals are just, yep, upgrade wise both players are even Stevens. It's appear. Oh, Nidus. Hello. Looks like we'll be seeing some Nidus Worm action, and here is the Nidus Worm. I love the new visual effects actually showing me where the Nidus went down. The question is, does Volt know about it? No, this is so perfect. Volt is actually pushed across the field. He's pushed across the field. He's trying to snipe this fourth. He does not know about this base, but apparently he sniped this one off. And now I have to go back and see what happened there, but it looks like Volt's base has been invaded, and it looks like his Twilight Council has been invaded too, but it looks like this will be a base race. This could be all she wrote, guys, but the blink has finished. If he blink micros these stalkers, he can pretty much have infinite stalkers for a very long time. It looks like Wisely, oh no, he needs to focus on the Spore Crawler. Yes, Wisely backing off his Colossi, doesn't want them to take too much damage, blinking away his stalkers, doing everything right, Voltes, and it looks like we have another Nidus Worm coming in from the northwestern position, trying to focus down this base. Oh, Volt knows how crucial that base is. He knows that he's already crippled the Zerg, taking out 2 bases. But the Zerg just has so much, while Volt just does not have that much. But it looks like Volt has managed to kill one of the 2 armies. Completely decimated, but oh god, the Colossi are in the front, but it looks like, oh, this base, this natural, for some reason, Lampan seems to despise that natural, man. I don't know what that natural did to him, but it wasn't present. And here comes the Colossi. They need to get as many volleys, and oh, funneling onto the ramp. That is pretty insane, and there's a nice aggressive blink, but a lot of these stalkers, oh no, the Colossi isn't really shooting at the main army, and it looks like the Colossi will go down before doing any significant damage, but that's a lot of nice blinks. And I do believe this will be all she wrote, guys. Because theoretically, with Blink, he could keep doing that. But here is the other force, and here are the drones! The most devastating force in the Zerg arsenal has arrived. But the gateways are now being re-established. Oh, sorry about that, guys. And it looks like we could see, yes, an aggressive Blink does go down. And it looks like a lot of the forces have been chased back. This is a really awkward position, but there is this base. It just needs to be properly set up, and it looks like the Nidus Worm will finally go down. Another Nexus will be established. This base now the last bastion of hope for the Volt and the Ire Empire. Meanwhile, the Zerg base, both players are pretty crippled, man, going blow for blow, toe for toe. And it looks like the High Templars have finally arrived from Ire, going to be morphing into Archons, I suppose, as there's no Storm upgrade. There we go, morphing them in, making use of his nice bank, while the Zerg is kind of fucked right now, as the bank is not really that significant. I mean, we've got a nice bank of gas, but no minerals. Finally, once he transfers these workers, then he should have enough. Saturating that base nicely with 22 workers. And it looks like this huge force. It's really the Corruptors which are the devastating part of this force, because if those Corruptors deal the damage necessary, then actually there are no Colossi left. Oh my goodness, there are no Colossi left. Lampan could win right now. Lampan could win right now with this engagement. Will he go in? No, he's just circling around like a shark in the water, and one of these warp gates isn't like the rest of them. And that shark in the water, but here comes the Zealot run by for Ire, killing one of the Hydralisks, killing another Hydralisk. This is kind of big, but he needs to kill the drones, and he now is focusing on the drones, doing quite a bit of damage, killing a few drones. And it looks like some Overlords have been picked off in the meantime. And I do believe another Overlord may have been sent over here to respread the creep. And just so much action all over the field right now. And it looks like this army is just circling, man. This is the jaws of Lampan's army. And Lampan trying to establish what was his third at some point. Meanwhile, the Protoss doesn't really have any answers other than the storms. And he does have enough storm, like enough energy to storm. But the question is how many of these Templar can actually storm. I do believe he might have enough for 2 storms, maybe 3. And, oh, if the army catches the Templar. No, the army is going in, but the Templar, will he go in? Here comes what could possibly be the final battle. More units are being warped in. And more creep is being pooped as well, but here comes what could be the final battle. Trying to do some damage, trying to position himself. The thing is the storm. The storm, he does storm! Some excellent storms going down. Picks off quite a few units. He does have enough for more storm, and the splash from the Archons. Aggressive blink forward, doing so much damage. Oh my god, Lampan is on the run. Lampan needs to get out of there, but oh, Lampan trying to do some damage. Aggressive blink forward. Aggressive turn around by Lampan does do some damage, but Stalker is being so cost efficient in this situation and finally getting what looks like a new Nexus up and trying to be as annoying as possible. But it looks like the army is circling around. Oh, sorry about that, guys. The army is indeed circling around. This one Archon is in for a really bad day. And I just don't know what's gonna happen. It looks like he split his army up. He's trying to... I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but this is pretty insane, man. It looks like the final bastion of hope and freedom is about to fall. Olympus is about to fall. And it looks like Lampan is actually supply blocked. And where are the High Templars? The High Templars will swing this battle. And here comes some random changelings blocking some of the stalkers. He needs to get a good storm off the... these are the high energy Templar. And as long as they're in the back, we could be seeing a storm going off any second now. This is insane if I do say so myself. And nice, just picking off some of the changelings. The changelings just following the army. And this is just insane. This is just the craziest game ever. I love HOTS. And oh my god, the High Templars are completely out of the open storm. Everything. Oh, the entire army. The entire army gets completely devastated. This could be all she wrote. You could be seeing an aggressive blink forward any second. Yep, there's an aggressive blink. Just picking off some of the units. And Lampan just taking the road less traveled. But it looks like he finally did catch the rest of the army. The question is, how much does Lampan still have in the gas tank? And has he effectively reset the game? Because I don't think he has that many units out. Yep, he just has... oh god, Nidus Worm again. No, another Nidus Worm. There's only one pylon over here to warp in units. And the question is, will the units have been on their warp cycle? It looks like Volt might end up trading. A lot of Lings are flooding in, but a lot of Zealots are being made, but there's just so many roaches. This could be the ultimate base trade because just Volt has a much better army than his opponent right now. His opponent needs more Hydralisks, but he just doesn't have it. There's just so many Zealots, so many Archons. They don't even need the speed. I do believe that this Bastion of Hope might be the only turning point. He needs to kill it, but guess what, man? The natural has been re-established, so... Lampan's work here is not done. Just checking to see whether there is an expand up there. There are none to be had. And it looks like the last Bastion of Freedom is being laid under siege. A couple of cannons. One cannon does not end up finishing. It looks like Lampan is slowly getting starved for minerals. He is nearly mined out, I do believe, but he does have quite a few minerals and gas bank up at the moment. And let's just look at the unit stats. 17 drones to 20 probes. And oh my god, the army! The army looks like it's been caught! The army looks like it has, in fact, been caught quite badly, but the Zealots are just so slow without Zealot legs. And it looks like they will manage to escape. But, going in an organized line. He needs to kill as many as possible. And it looks like they're popping up on the other end of the map. And now there's some Hydralisks in the composition going straight for this base. I do believe those are heading back to the last Bastion of Hope and Freedom. And oh, the High Templar. And I'm sorry, but my nose is leaking. And here comes the High Templar. Could end up doing some 6 storms. 2 storms. One more storm. Yes! 6 storm. Killing off quite a few. 11 units have been killed. And it lives to tell the tale. It looks like very smart. Oh, here comes the Greater Spire. And smartly also getting up another Overlord with speed over here. To just spread the creep, spread the love, and finally cleaning up this this Nidus Worm, which has caused him so much pain and suffering. This game has just been balls out insanity throughout. And at the moment, it looks like things have kind of like slowed down, and it looks like, oh snap, here comes the March of the Penguins, aka Zealot, Archon, Stalker. They're out for blood. They know that this is the moment. This is the moment when Lampan's army is the weakest. He's just gonna go and check. There is no base over there. Now he's just gonna make his way in. Just gonna slowly pick off stuff. He's gonna just kill everything, I believe. No, he's going right for the Gooch. Going straight for the main. Splitting up his units. Sending some units over here. And oh, this is the Alamo. They're all trapped. But guess who is trapped? It's our trap. And it looks like the Zealots are finally coming in. The Stalkers being just so cost effective. And it looks like this could be all she wrote. The supply is just dropping greatly. But the trap, the real trap. Where? Oh, Wait, where are they? The 10 Broodlords which are being morphed in. Oh no, the Broodlords. He needs to kill these Broodlords, or at the very least, turn this into a base race. And what is over here? That is a random Overlord being attacked. The question is, will he actually kill everything? Because these Broodlords are pretty slow. Will he actually kill everything in time? And it looks like he's going straight for the Greater Spire, thinking that there might not be Broodlords yet. Here comes some Mutalisks just to help reinforce as well, to do damage to those Stalkers, to help absorb some damage as well. Going straight for... Oh no, here come the Broodlords! The Broodlords have in fact arrived, but he's trying to just micro as best as possible. He does manage to pick up one Broodlord. Oh my goodness, one Broodlord does go down, but he just does not have enough Stalkers. Another Stalker does go down. Here are the Mutalisks. This could be all she wrote. Ha ha ha, GG. Well-mannered play from both players, and that was what you call flipping the tables yet again. Because it looked like the Zerg player went from a terrible position, from a great position to a terrible position to a even better position in the end. And wow, what an amazing game. And there's going to be 2 more games off to